cares about you. They care about me. Hey, what's going on, everybody?
TC.
It's TC, the Falcon. Figaro Falcon, for those who do know me.
Nobody cares about you.
You'd be very surprised. You'd be very surprised.
Anyways,
we
And
also
I am
got
Stellulus Maximus.
Stellamus Maximus.
Look at
Stellulus
him.
Maximus.
Look at him.
Yeah,
Trying to change up.
Now, hell no. Shit, by and by, baby. Everybody know me. Everybody know me.
And joining us with, look at her. Look at her, still rocking out.
She ain't worried about us.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I after 4 o'clock, my day just kind of spiraled downward very quickly, and I am trying hard to avoid an emotional pitfall.
Oh.
I apologize.
Talking to the mic, bababy.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
We are on the radio, right?
Should I separate you two?
Sorry.
No,
Why
I'm
would
quite
you need
interested.
to
I think it's vent time. I think we need to.
Oh, jeez.
We need
No, I
to.
don't know. I can't even really pinpoint it, and it's probably just because I haven't had a quote unquote bout of depression in a while. But I just after 4 o'clock just kind of went downhill. I don't know. It just was.
Do you think it's
weird-
perhaps your downfall? I guess after the play, like your come down
Maybe.
energy.
Maybe. It was nice to perform, and I hadn't done it in a while. And it was very, very quick. There were like 3 rehearsals, and then we did the reading. So it wasn't like I got a chance to really get
Immerse yourself.
the amount of satisfaction I
so that's what it
normally
is. It's actor's guilt.
get. Maybe.
It's like, oh no, I have to get rid of this character so fast.
But yeah, so, and there's Bag Lady.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so yes, I was in a play yesterday.
Yeah, speaking, that's it's gonna be mostly what we're talking about tonight. I have been playing my video game. Yeah. I want y'all to know that I bought Dark Souls. It was hard, so I bought The Witcher as well, just so I can feel something playing that.
Some kind of relief.
Yeah, I just gotta feel victorious before I charge back into Dark Souls. Like, if I can't, my confidence takes too much of a hit. Walking around in here, wrestling was the director of the play that Amma was in last night, Nate. So we had it was essentially
Nasty
look at him,
Nate.
Nasty Nate. It was essentially an artist exchange production. Essentially, like they just came in through. They was just allocating spots. I'm like, well, I guess we'll allow some other people to come in and do something. Hey, I'm gonna need you to come back in here later because I got some questions for you. Yes, because the talkbacks. I'm not much of a, but I like to get very close after I have time to think and digest. So I got some stuff that I want to talk. No. I'm talking. I was feeling some stuff. I was thinking things. Saw a lot. Yeah, juxtapositions and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna talk about that a little later.
It just got really awkward really quick. For those of you who couldn't see what was going on, there was this weird Avatar-esque transfer of mental emotion just now, and I wasn't okay because I could see Kenyon just throwing it towards Nate, and Nate was just like, just kind of windmilling through it. Like he was like, "I'll answer your questions later. Just get on with your."
Oh look,
shit."
we got a
It
little
was
clock, guys.
I know, right?
You didn't notice that?
Oh,
That's
see.
so neat.
I'm gonna usually sit
We
on the
are
other side.
upgrading.
That's true. You do sit on
That's
that
right.
side.
She's getting a fresh perspective.
We're upgrading.
But yeah, so about this show, as Amma said, it talks about this woman and how she evolves to be very direct with her sexuality, and in it, she meets a man who doesn't need to have sex with her, because if a woman is throwing it at you, it's hard not to catch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's the exact opposite for women, because especially now with cell phones and Twitter, and now Facebook done got super ratchet. Like it's you can just catch them all. What? Oh, it's a flurry of just unwanted pics. And what you doing?
What you got on?
Where you at?
Never understood those.
I'm just saying,
But-
you could always just bypass all that and just drop it in her DM. Because that's a thing.
But
They created a song about it.
But on the inverse,
Fucking hate that.
when a woman throws it at us, it's very hard. Like, even if we've got our idea of this is what we want. Like, I want to wait for a little bit just to, because I don't want to just run it. But but after a while, like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Look, I can only say no so many times. Like, okay, if I find a wallet, I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna look around. Hey, is this anybody's wallet? If nobody answers, hey, I found a wallet. If nobody answers, I'm putting that wallet in my pocket. Like, that's officially my wallet at that. All right. So they have a man who he doesn't like want to right off the bat. He wants to get to know her. And as Amma was going through it, we were talking about the process. She appreciated how and I hope the censor police don't come in here. He didn't come off as a bitch because he didn't want to have sex. He wanted to talk. He wanted to really get to know her and get to know about her feelings. And it wasn't portrayed as weak.
Which is always difficult. And it was one of the things that I went during the rehearsal process, and because I didn't get a chance to actually see George until our second rehearsal. He didn't make the first one, so it was just Nate reading it. And I was listening to it thinking to myself, this has the potential to be a train wreck if you don't have the proper actor to take hold of it. Because especially in our society, it's not really okay for men to be vulnerable, to be emotionally connected, to be emotionally open. Women claim that they want that, but then when they get it, there's some sort of there's too much. I can't take it. I can't deal with it. I'll dive a little more into it, and then we can actually talk about what transpired and what LaTanya's point was in writing the piece.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. Give us a call at 410-702-5657. I want to hear from you on our topic as we go through it. If you hear anything that really speaks to you, give us a call and let us know. Or you can text us 443-642-9403. I want to hear what you got to say. This is Weird Radio on BeExposedRadio.com.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, we are back with Weird Radio.
That's depressing.
Don't forget, out there, if you want to call in, you can call us at 410-702-5657 so you can talk. Because I'm going to get into gender roles in our relationships. One of the aspects that I wanted to talk about was when we're particularly aggressive. You know, it's one thing to be direct in your approach, but typically that kind of evens out during the relationship. You sort of meld and, you know, the adage that people who are together a long time start to act like one another is true. You act like them, they act like you. It's just how you're, you know, it's how it's a product of living together.
Right.
But when someone is aggressive the entire time, it brushes up against people wrong. You know, because if someone never changes, if someone's always hard and like cold.
Okay.
So, and what I'm getting at is the main character, was it Claudette?
Yes.
All right, Claudette. Claudette is very sexually aggressive. Sex is just a release for her. She doesn't put any emotion into it. And she's very honest about it. So she thinks that she redeems the hurt that she inflicts on the people who try to love her, try to love all of her, with her honesty by saying, well, I told you I don't feel anything from this. But then she falls in love with someone and then hurts him and then can't seem to get out of that quagmire. So I wanted to talk about how, you know, we feel about men being sexually aggressive. Seems to be. We have a caller. Oh,
hi. This is Brenda, actually from Morgan State University.
oh
Brenda!
Brenda.
Yes.
Brenda!
Hi, guys.
It's so good to hear
It's so
your
great to
voice.
hear your voice. Where have you been?
I'm in Jersey. I saw your thing on Facebook, and I was like, I have to call in. I even texted you guys.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
better.
Yay!
Even better.
How are you feeling about our topic today? What are your, because you
I
are a
absolutely
very
love it.
independent woman.
I texted you guys, but I wanted to voice my opinion on it. So I think it's an interesting topic that you guys brought up, and we talk a lot about like social norms and what's socially acceptable. And I think it's more quote unquote socially acceptable for men to be the aggressors. Now, whether or not that's due to an extension of an exaggeration of, you know, the differences in our biological makeup, that's to be examined. But so our society says that it's okay for men to be dominant and aggressive and adventurous, et cetera, whereas women, we're supposed to be the quote unquote balance to that, and we're supposed to be softer, and, you know, we're supposed to think before
More
we step.
reserved.
Now, say it again?
More reserved.
We're exactly more reserved, more put together, and, you know, just a lot more soft than men are supposed to be. And when we show qualities of the opposite, then a lot of times we're misidentified and misunderstood, and we're responded to the wrong way. Whereas if a male shows his more sensitive side, it's misinterpreted as him being homosexual or him being quote unquote soft. And if women show something a little more aggressive, then they're considered to be, you know, the quote unquote strong woman that thinks they're quote unquote acting like a man. And a lot of times if we don't decide what's acceptable as far as how acceptable and where it's acceptable to be aggressive or softer or more timid, then we're messing up our societal ability to progress. And I think that's a real problem, especially for people who are in the business world. You have to be aggressive in the business world, but a woman who's aggressive in the business world is seen as someone who may not be able to be soft at home. And that may not be the truth. And the same thing, you know, with a male. And I think a lot of times because people are chastised for showing both sides, we end up, you know, taking our society in the wrong direction and misvaluing certain characteristics in people.
Okay.
That was an
So that's my 2 cents.
That was an excellent. That wasn't even 2 cents. That was like
That's
a
a
whole.
$1.50.
That was a whole. That was a whole 20.
Well, I'm glad you guys picked up, and I'm glad I could participate.
Yes,
in
thank
that.
you,
Thank
Brenda.
You, and
It was
please,
quite
if you have
refreshing.
anything else to say, let it. Please share it with us.
Absolutely, and feel free to, you know, just shoot me a text message. I'll be happy to call in and chime in on any topics you guys are talking about. You know, you guys are my favorite, so I'm here for you.
All right, Brenda.
I love you guys. Talk to
All
you
right,
later.
love you too, Brenda.
All right, peace.
Bye.
So yeah, and that was one of the comments that was made last night during the talk back, because even in the show there was a lot that happened. It started with the soulmate friendship dynamic between Janita and Claudette. Claudette being the main character, and Janita basically breaking up with her. And that's basically what happened. She said, you know, I've been seeing someone for 3 years and I'm talking about marrying him and I'm leaving. I'm going to be with him. And you have met this man and this is the time for me to make my move, because this man, Malik, he cares about more than just getting in your pants, and you deserve to have that. You should not keep yourself from that because someone hurt you previously, which is why part of the reasons that she was so singularly minded when it came to her relationships with men. She's very guarded. You know, there was no room for anything really emotional. She didn't really like talking. It's like, no, we've had way too much conversation. At this point, it's time for you to go or for us to get back to it again. So in watching that, one of the things that I found most interesting in the reaction from the audience is the focus on the focus on her and the way that she carried herself with Malik. That very open and aggressive, come on baby, just touch me, just let me taste you, just come here, let's go in a room and just, you know, not think about anything. You having a hard time, I'm having a hard time, we can make each other feel better. That was what impacted the audience the most. And his counterbalance, no, I'm going home, I'm not staying here, I'm not giving you anything, I don't have nothing for you. if you want to talk, we can talk, because I realize that you're going through something and I care about how you feel. But I'm not here to give you anything physically. I'm not touching you. This is not happening. And then, you know, his further explanation into it that you don't even really care about me. I come over here and the first thing you want to do is take your clothes off and get to it. You haven't asked me how I've been. You haven't asked me what's going on in my life. You haven't asked me about my business. You haven't asked me about my kids. I got everybody in my pocket. And now on top of that, you're asking me to buy you a plane ticket somewhere. So as a man, when you are dealing with a woman who is a serial adulterer, because she admitted that she had not ever been faithful to anyone she'd been in a relationship with, how you deal with that without losing your integrity and your quote unquote manhood. I know more than one story of a man who was with a woman who could not be faithful, and that ended his life. You know, that's kind of what happens in that situation. What can happen in that situation. You are just as in danger of running into a dude who does not know how to stay in his lane as you are with a woman who doesn't know how to stay in her lane. You know, that the movie with Glenn Close. What the hell's the name of that movie? Where she goes crazy. What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you talking to the wrong one. I'm usually see, the thing is, I'm usually there with you whenever you name drop
It
in
was
the
like
movie.
the movie that changed, one of those movies that changed the world. It was Glenn Close and Michael Douglas, and they had an affair, and then she
Fatal Attraction?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Because
that was the one. Fatal Attraction. And that dynamic, that what is how do you address the actual issues that are there? Because she obviously has some issues. She's obviously a broken individual.
Well, I mean, she has to be willing to talk about it.
I mean, but it's not so much that she is willing to talk about it, because she talks about it. She talks about what happened to her that led her to the point where she was only interested in the most superficial exchange between a man and a woman. Just the flesh, and then that's it. I'm not interested in anything else. And that came from a combination of things. It came from her father dying while she was very young. That came from being molested, and then in turn kind of being
used.
Yeah, used, because I don't want to say she was a hoe. That she was because I don't know. I don't necessarily, because the hoe gives you
negative,
instant
negative connotation.
Not everybody is okay with, but she was, and not everyone is okay with that terminology. And one of the issues we had last night, or at least one of the things that came up, was the inability to relate to her because there were no quote unquote redeeming qualities in this woman, which I personally don't think was true. I was saying that anyone who is that honest about who they are and what they want, that inherently of itself is redeeming, because they are letting you know, I'm messed up. I'm broken. I know I'm broken. I'm okay with being broken. If you're okay with me being broken, then we can do this. But if you want me to be whole, then you need to find somebody else, because I'm not the one for you.
Would you say it was almost as if she was being earnest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I think that is a redeeming quality. So she may not make the decisions that society would like her to make about her body, but she is making responsible decisions in the relationship she chooses to engage in my opinion.
All right. So we're going to take another break. Give us a call after we get back at 410-702-5657 or text us at 443-642-9403. I'm sure somebody's going to get that computer on so we could check any messages we maybe get. Studio One. Yeah, that's right. When we get back, we're going to be talking. We're going to keep talking about this play and just some of the ideas therein, some ideas about gender roles and how they affect our thinking, both and how we approach sexual relationships and emotional ones. This is W.E.I.R.D Radio on BeExposedRadio.com.
driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. Like I've learned, I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
Pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay. And there is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids and when you got a wife and then you doing everything and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
Yes. Nice
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
This is the mother. Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So, you know how you round people who really can sing? And they always like, I don't know if it's this time. That's what these at least these two over here are giving me right now. It's not the time, It should be 78.5 degrees in.
0.25.
So they're going to share a little bit, just a little taste to get you interested, to get you tingling this morning.
Come on in here.
Share a little of their Banji soul with us.
Stand behind her.
Okay. Well, y'all singing y'all mic.
Yeah, y'all can sing.
Okay, so this is called What I Thought. It's also on the album.
Don't hold back.
Okay. Y'all ready? You ready, B? Okay. I see the lights pouring out your face. No, you can't hide. I see them clear as day. I'm growing tired of playing these games. You say I'm tripping. Well, get up on this plane now, 'cause I'm pulling out with you or not. Are you going crazy or too damn lazy? We ain't skipping through no daisies. This wasn't my fantasy. This ain't what I thought. And this ain't what I want.
I told y'all wasn't ready. The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey. You're on the radio. Jesus.
So
Christ.
we were just paying homage to Brenda.
Yeah, y'all so yelling.
Don't care.
We're back with Weird Radio. What's up, y'all?
Exactly.
Kenyon is keeping the peace.
Exactly, because he's the loudest one in the entire room.
Exactly.
That's how you know today is backwards day.
Opposite day. If you're out there listening, give us a call at 410-702-5657 or text us at 443-642-9403. Frankly, I prefer you call because the text moves slow. We got a text earlier, but it's going to come in 20 minutes. So call. Yeah, it's not up here. But we're talking about gender roles and those who are very direct sexually. I wanna also, like, with going on with our conversation earlier, I want you to keep in mind this entire play is done as a commentary on gender roles and the reversal of gender roles. So yeah, you could, because as we talked about, typically men are the aggressors and women are the ones who want to hold off and get to know you. And so
I don't know what women you mean.
I mean, okay. This is.
I definitely had my moments where I was like, I don't really.
I'm about to say, I'm about to dig in my past. Okay, here we go. So I can agree that usually men are the aggressors and women are the ones who want get to know and feel you out before they make a decision. All that. So, but to flip it, there are very few men out there in the world. I don't know what the percentage is, and I don't care to know what the percentage is, but who will actually take the time to say, no, I don't want to do anything right now. Let's just, see where this goes. But I will say that usually comes after he has sheathed his sword after a few conquests. Just saying.
Or like the guy in the play, he was coming out of something where he was emotionally attached and he wanted to clear the slate, and then
but that's what I'm saying. Like, depending on whether or not how long that relationship was or who he might have dealt with before he met her would determine how he deals with her. Because I've had that happen to me in the past where I got out of something and then I was like, I'd like to look for something nice, but I just got out of something. I tried to talk to somebody. They just wanted something else. I was like, I guess I could do this for a little while. And then I was just like, I moved on to the next person to see if they were looking for something. But like you said earlier, it is a conscious, most people, it's either a conscious, a lot of people, it may be subconscious, but there is something you're seeking on your journey to feel whole. But I can say, there is a lapse of time where it just becomes this mundane ritual of casual encounters for some people.
That was a real nice way of saying it. Never heard it said.
Thank you. But I'm just saying, like, I've had it happen in my past before, because most people who know me to certain extents, this is directed toward everyone who knows me from college.
Certain extents.
There's no one before college. So I had a bit of a selective hoeing phase, but during that hoeing phase, I was looking for love. I did want to.
Selective?
It was selective.
Very selective.
It was very selective. Amma knew me back then. I was very selective on who I chose to talk to. So it was just, it's kind of hard when you're looking for something and you think that, okay, as a man, if I'm looking for it, it'd be easy to find a woman who wants it as well, right? It's not. Because it is a slowly progressive society where women have become more aggressive, which kind of goes along with the.
I really don't know the type of women. Maybe I should say it the other way. It's the type of women that I grew up with, because I don't know any coy women. I really don't. I don't know many coy women. Maybe because I'm always been in the arts. Probably a little hood, but I don't know many coy women.
What do you mean? Okay, so what does coy mean, right?
A woman that wants to take the time, and I don't know many women like that.
I know a lot of women like that.
I've heard about them on TV, but I don't.
I guess for me personally, it depended on the person. There are some people I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is worth an investment. There are some people I was like, oh, this needs to be done quickly, because the longer he talks, the less interested I am.
Right. And that's the determining factor. Like, what do you get out of it? Is it a financial arrangement? Because you're willing to be whatever you need to be for what you want. But when it's not something you want, it's like, you are.
I definitely am. was kind of doing a mental kind of
reflection.
Yes, on myself and my personal relationships and what I was like in those relationships with those people. And I realized for me, I am definitely adaptive. I am, and I think it comes from having a performer soul. I can very easily take on attributes that I know my partner prefers. And it's just kind of how I'm built, unfortunately. And then, I mean, my core self stays the same, but just, little things change here and there. And I think that there is that I personally, when I'm in a relationship where I am docile and okay, whatever you want to do, babe, that's me compromising, because me personally, I'm like, nah, bro, that's not what I want to do. None of that. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm not interested in none of that. So, a cool story, bro. I'm like,
all right, we just got a text. Let me well, I guess actually I'm gonna read it because there are people on YouTube watching me right now live, and I should probably stay in the camera.
Okay.
I want to look at you.
All right, so it's coming through. Okay, here we go.
Let's start right.
If I'm here or we're starting.
You start right.
Okay, I'm very direct. I'm very direct about what I want, and I am a dominant woman in the work world, and I'm really clear about what I want in a partner. While I am a sexual person like others, I am more direct about my need for intellectual stimulation. I am a serial mind fucker. Yes, I like that. I want to know I want to know the intricacies of everyone's or males that I'm interested in, mind and perspective. I am selective about who I choose to lay with, but when it comes to my approach with men, if I want him, he's mine. That's it. And men respond to that. Men like aggression, and I will agree with her. Men like aggression when you are an ambitious girl, but they still want you to be soft and feminine and all about them.
So bipolar, basically.
Well, I mean, there's something attractive about confidence, and the more confident you are, the more I love your attitude, and everything about you just says yes. So there's something attractive. There's something attractive about. I mean, I usually get positive responses when I am like, yo, I think you sexy as fuck. No, sorry, my bad. I forgot we're not supposed to be talking like that.
Ding, ding.
You didn't know that the grammar police is in.
But I get just as many responses when I am, I'm interested. Here's my information. We need to connect, as I am when I'm just like, oh, hi, how you doing? I like your shoes. And then I allow them to do the, ask the question. So, I mean, I guess I for me, I kind of prefer the other way around, because there's always that surprise. Like, really, she just rolled up on me like that? Yes, I did. Yes, I
mean,
did.
because it as a man, when something like that happens, it is like, oh, all right,
all right. So I want to transition to another kind of relationship that was, discussed in the play between Claudette and Janetta.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say Janita. I was like something ridiculous like Janita, isn't it? Janetta. And so as how they approached this relationship in the play was they called them soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you walked in like a little bit late like I did, even after she told me, after we discussed it when talking, seeing them do it up there, I was like, and listening to the words, like, yeah, wait a minute. I thought she said they were friends, but wait, okay. And so that how it seemed that they connected, and then knowing that they were just best friends, you could see. You hear about the relationship that she has with men. But as you see this relationship with her, you see the full spectrum of her emotions. Mm-hmm. And you see how, as someone discussed at the talk back, she was a little too little over here and a little too much over here.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, she smothered her friend. which was a part of the reason she had to leave. And what I got from it was how important it was that we noticed that in our friendly relationships, because it's easy for if me and Am are having problems, y'all to come talk to me like, yo, man, we've seen you beat down. That's not, but if you got a friend who just comes over to smoke, drink some of your vodka, it's like peace, like every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's all he does. And people are like, yo, you keep letting John come over. You're like, well, John's cool. Like, there's usually not an intervention like something for that. And I think that in the play, it does a good job of showing that those relationships, while different, should be treated the same. They should be treated with some sort of introspection.
I think that for me, the most dynamic part of, or the most interesting part of the relationship between Nita and Claudie is that Claudie really never connected to how much she required of everyone in her life. Nita says it's easy to play the victim, and you're never wrong. Everyone else is right. And sometimes you're wrong. Not only are you wrong, you're ignorant. And instead of apologizing for your ignorance, you become arrogant and you act as if it doesn't matter when it does. You cannot actively hurt people and then not expect them to do the same in return, or to remain disconnected from you while connecting with you. Because, a man in a heartbeat will shut down the emotions and be like, all right, sure, I'll give you what you need and I'm out. Peace, and trying to get Claudette to pull out of the self-loathing that she had fallen into at the end of her marriage, from what I gather, because it's not talked about, so it's actors, we make our own stories up. A very unamicable divorce. It was not nice. He was horrible and mean, and he took as much from her as he could, and he took so much from her she was unable to rebuild herself. And Netta and Janita invested in trying to help her rebuild herself, but it was a project that was in vain. Claudette doesn't want to be fixed. She thinks she's fine the way she is, and I don't know how to make her see herself any differently, which is kind of why she ends up moving and trying to push Malik into this spot that she's been standing in.
All right, so we got about 3 minutes before we go on our final break. I want to hear from Nate.
Me?
Yes, Nate. I want to hear about just some things you picked up about yourself as you've done this play. Yeah. I mean, I'm getting real deep.
Acting real personal.
Because
he asked the personal question like, that's not your. How much of me is in this play? That's really good.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. But I want to know, because not necessarily you as in your personal, but as far as a performer, as far as as far as your thinking process goes, as far as you being experienced to something new, expanding some process of thought that you've gone through.
For me, honestly, directing is something that I would do. I definitely would do it for money, but it is something that I do because as an actor, you are, even though you're given free reign in theater, you're still restricted as to who people think you could play. Mm-hmm. So I've never been able to showcase a lot of myself. In directing, I'm able to live vicariously through my direction and the options that I give to actors. So that makes it not only fun, but almost therapy, because I'll get to put on perceptions that I feel into the actors that I'm actually working with. But this piece, I don't deal with love or feelings or emotions very easily.
Sounds kind of familiar.
It doesn't work for me. One, because it's a part of me that I shut off when I was younger, because it people react to you differently when you feel openly.
Mhm.
And people can
Wow,
say
yeah.
that they don't, but they do.
Yes, they do.
And being a guy, you have to maintain who you are. And it really is who I am, but I've learned how to control it depending on what circumstances I'm around, because you in the arts, you would just assume everybody's your friend.
But no, they're nasty.
Yeah, they nasty. And you be like, oh, okay, we cool, we going out to eat. And then it's like you sharing all this stuff, and then this person goes off into their world for the rest of their life with a piece of your knowledge or a piece of who you are. And you feel naked almost. So I've learned to just displace it where it's supposed to be and keep it out of places where it's not supposed
That's such a hard lesson to learn.
Therapy I need.
I find for me, I get very emotionally involved, and I can stand outside myself and look at myself and be like,
shut up.
Right, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you really doing? What are you really doing? And then, but I still do it because I'm a crazy person.
Yes, we all are. All right, so we're going to take another quick break before we come back for our final segment. We've got the Artist Exchange coming up next. Going to have Nate and Amin here continuing while they scoot us out. We got Stello in here.
Of course.
Just chilling. He's just chilling. He's absorbing, getting cultured. He's gonna pop this out on some girl next Friday. Yeah,
hell nah. You don't know me too.
We was talking about how deep it was getting. It was getting emotional conquest.
When it comes to the women I deal with, I'm shallow as a puddle, baby.
This is Weird Radio. We'll be right back.
Weird Radio. Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
children definitely sense that about me before we even like.
Oh man, we are back with Weird Radio. We are discussing my ridiculous offspring. So yeah, we've been talking about gender roles and role reversals in this play, Impossible Love. And what was the playwright's name?
Latanya.
Latanya. What'd you say,
Tanelia is the
Tanelia?
actress.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, Latanya is the playwright.
That's a lot.
It is. I know my name is weird. I know. It's fine. I'm someone said that to me on the phone today. I was like, yeah, my name is, or not today, sometime this week. I'm like, what did you say your name was again? Amma. Oh, that's weird. It's like, is weird really the word? In fact, it was the woman, it was the nurse when I went to the doctor. That's weird. Is weird the word you want to use when talking to a person about their name?
See, interesting, unique,
different.
Right.
I have a natural go-off button inside of me, and I haven't found it. So when those things happen, it automatically
gets punched.
Because I would have just hung up and let her call me back. It's like something happened. No, I hung up on you because that's inappropriate. I don't know what that is in me. It happened.
Oh my God.
And I'm saying sorry. I'm like, why am I? Okay,
apologize. But yeah, it was a weird moment because a lot of people have heard the name Amma. That's not I don't think that's a unique name anymore. And after 30 years, I've met 5 or 6 of them, and there's been at least 1 or 2 on TV. At this point, it's not you guys remember the space cowboy TV show from CW? It had a Felix or Flex, whatever his name is, Flex, and there was a girl on there named Amma. Yes, you remember? Do you remember?
No, you know, Amma does this. She goes is like there's like a.
It was a thing.
There's a song. There's a song with Amma in it.
It is. There's a song.
And then you end up talking about cereal.
Freakily, Keisha, Nisha,
no, it's
Amma.
That's not the song.
How you like it?
That
Like
song's
on the
not
front.
named after me either.
Do you like it from the back?
That shouts to Petey Pablo.
God, throwing it back. 2004.
That's what she does.
So
you said it. You threw the oop. I just
ducked it.
Yeah,
I did.
That's how that
That was
works.
my fault.
Nah,
So yeah, what are you guys talking about on the art exchange coming up in 10 minutes or so?
We have 2 writers, 1 playwright / actor, 1 young
Writer,
playwright.
yeah, budding writer. He's
I'm trying to in my
short
head,
stories. He's written a book.
Yeah, not give him the business.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
He needs
you're
it.
young. Yeah, you're
He's young, but he's an ambitious young man, and he has a lot of definite dreams, and he's a very hard worker. And he's very excited about the writing, and I think the book was not bad. So I'm right. I'm looking forward to talking to him.
In 10 years, I just want him to have a part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm interested to see where he is in 10 years. Because at 21, you think you have a really great grasp on the world. And then you hit 30 and you're like, oh,
I had no clue.
Really?
You hit 25 and you're like,
like,
right. Why did I live like this?
Like if I could go back, and I've noticed when it comes to like if I could go back, it's never like this I would change, that I would change, that. It's just one specific moment that was just kind of like your aha.
You made right. And this is the thing that I deal with on a regular basis. I think about, okay, what moment would I go back? What would I do differently in that moment? But then I sit and I really analyze why I made that choice, because I'm not an impulsive individual. I think that I'm a person who thinks things through, especially in my personal life. I do not just jump up and do stuff. So, why did I make that decision? Let me think about my life in that moment and what was happening around and why I made that choice. And then I understand and remember, oh, that's why I made that choice.
Yeah, no, see, most of mine were like, I'll let future TC worry about it. But what I can say is when I go back in time and I think about this single moment that I would change, I'm like, if I changed that, I wouldn't know half the people
right
that I know now. that kind of molded me. And well, then I
I
wouldn't know you. So.
Any of the people I know.
If
now.
I would change one thing, I would change getting that credit card. I would have not gotten that credit card.
But see, for me, it would have been not going. It would have been not going to Morgan.
Right.
It would have been going to the school that I wanted to go to, which was Georgia Tech. But in doing that, I would have never met you.
Anybody.
You.
I
would have never met a lot of people.
I'd go back to not leaving Miami.
I wouldn't even be in theater. I'd probably still be doing engineering to this day. Be out of my mind.
Right. Sad and don't know why.
Just.
Well, you would have just met everybody at this point.
You would have been the entertainment in the office because you can't not. You can't not.
That would have been your life for the next 40 years. The funny guy at the
It's
office.
depressing.
That's sad. So before we wrap up the show,
It just made me depressed.
Next a week from today, we have the second official edition of Sauce
in a Solo.
And a Solo.
Sauce in a Solo.
Sauce in a Solo.
And spoiler alert, this time I will be bringing some of my bartending tools.
Ooh.
So it's going to be
When is this?
This
Friday.
is next Friday.
Next Friday's edition of Sauce in a Solo. You guys will get to see my face on camera because Kenyon won't be sitting there. I will.
I won't.
And we're going to have, I'm debating, I'll let you guys choose one or two different drinks. One or two.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Well, I mean, I like.
No, you know what?
Right.
No, you don't get to pick. Nate, one or two?
Two.
Okay.
I'm always a both person.
There's more. I like. I gotta try. I gotta compare. I need this one and that one.
So yes, next week we will be enjoying two different drinks, and I will drop the ingredients, I guess, so you guys can make them at home. And yeah, sounds like fun. Sauce in a Solo. Just make sure you have your solo cups.
That's right. Tuesday, I'm gonna, I guess, figure out what we'll talk about. I've been playing the game and working in the sun, and I'm sure you guys don't want to talk about how hot people's roofs are, because it'll burn. It'll burn, and that's about it. Like that's all I learned at work. Yeah, it's hot. It'll burn. Clients like to buy you pizza a lot, which if it's like you, that's cool. But
what the hell that's supposed to mean? You just pointed at me if it's you. What the fuck?
Right, because you can eat the cheese.
You can eat pizza. Yeah,
I can't.
The way this is arranged,
I'm lactose intolerant. I can't have a whole lot of cheese.
Yeah.
I'm just
unless
you don't want to be in the car with me later.
Oh, well then never mind. Because I caught myself on the ladder, almost fell off and died because I gassed myself.
I didn't shoot you up in the air.
No, it was hot, humid, so it just stayed like a it was like a Pokemon attack. It was a poison gas attack.
Okay.
All right. Artist Exchange. This is W.E.I.R.D Radio. We're getting out of here. Peace, guys.
Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com with me, your host Nate. Here in this very weird room. We'll have two guests coming in today, Mr. Calvin Smith and Mr.